Thank you all so much for clicking on this video. Throughout this video, I will be showing all of you some of the fall-themed foods that I made throughout this past week for fall break at ASU. Last year, they had canceled fall break for numerous reasons, but I was so happy that it was back again this year, and I took a ton of inspiration and ended up baking my butt off and making a ton of food that I wanted to show you guys. I hope you all enjoy, and with that being said, let's get into the video. The Friday before fall break, I went on a huge grocery shopping trip. I bought a ton of stuff, way too much if you ask me. Here is just a few of the things that I bought, especially for the baked goods that I made throughout the weekend. I also ended up buying a ton of apples and these super cute flowers. The first dessert I made was on Friday night, and I made apple rose tartlets. I had tried to make these tartlets before and it was so difficult, so I had a calm mind. I was like, yep, I'm going to attack these tonight. This recipe called for processing the butter and the flour together in a food processor, but the food processor that I have is so small, so that was a bit difficult to say the least. But I will say what was even harder was combining the dough together. The recipe made it sound easy, but it was a challenge. None of these trials compare, however, to cutting these apples. The recipe called for extremely thin apples, and I ended up almost cutting myself multiple times. Thank goodness I survived. Throughout all the ups and downs of this recipe, however, I think the results are absolutely amazing, and it was definitely a fun challenge for me to pursue. Also, I mean, look how cute these little tartlets are. They're adorable. Here I am making a somewhat of a cinnamon liquidy base to go at the bottom of the tart. I was confused about this at first, but honestly, it added a ton of extra flavor when it came to eating the tartlets. After a very long process, the results were so worth it. Hey guys, so I have my apple rose tartlet finally completed. It's about 11:17 at night on Friday, so it's extremely late. As you probably saw, I only was able to make about 4 tartlets. I cut the recipe in half, so technically I should have been able to make about 8, but honestly I started getting a little rushed, a little frustrated, a little tired, so I decided just to make 4 instead. Now I'm gonna try and give my honest opinions and possibly rate it. Also, you can't see it right now, maybe I'll put in a clip, but my tripod broke, as I mentioned in the last vlog. So right now I have the camera on top of an upside down pot and 3 cans of food. So trying to be innovative, I guess. Maybe it's better if I eat it with my hands. Okay, it's very messy when you cut into it. I'm gonna dig in. Okay, I have to finish chewing. All right, my honest opinions. That was bomb. That was so good. The way I could just describe it, which probably is pretty straightforward, is just a tiny little bite-sized apple pie. That's exactly what it tastes like. Lots of apple. I like the crust, it's very good. I forget what it's called, but like the official term that was on the website, the blog that I got the ingredient from, but it's really fancy. I'll put it here. But that tastes really good. And the cinnamon sugar mixture that you put on the base is also really yummy. Now, was this worth all the hassle to make? Honestly, I don't think so. I actually initially tried to make this recipe last year over Thanksgiving break because I wasn't going home because of COVID and a lot of things, but I stayed home and wanted to make a lot of Thanksgiving food. Well, I tried making these apple rose tartlets then, and I ended up quitting because I sliced my finger open which sucks, and I was really nervous to do that again, and as you probably saw during my footage, I nearly did, but thank God I actually did not, and I succeeded in slicing the apples. Just took a lot of trial and error. But yeah, these are super delicious. If you're looking for kind of a little bit of a more challenging dessert to make that takes a lot of effort and a lot of time, this is a great one. They're super cute and really, really tasty, and honestly, if I can do it, I feel like anyone really can. So yeah, I'm gonna give look or presentation probably a 9 out of 10. Usually it'd be a 10, but you know, gotta stay humble. So presentation, a 9 out of 10, and taste, taste, I'd give an 8 out of 10. Stay humble, you know. Honestly though, I really, really like it, and I'm very surprised because in the past, I haven't been a big apple pie fan, apple dessert lover, but I better get used to it because I'm making an apple pie very soon for this video, so stay tuned. Anyways, I'm gonna finish eating this and go chill for the rest of the night and fall asleep. I'll see you guys tomorrow when I make meatball tortellini soup. The next recipe I decided to pursue was my classic meatball tortellini soup that my mom has always made ever since I was young. Here's cold dancing, that's fun. And it also includes a ton of Parmesan cheese, which I will not complain about. I also got to use some fresh parsley, which I've been working hard at storing my produce more properly in the fridge, so I was very proud of that one. Also, this past year, I finally learned how to crack an egg with one hand, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say that I think it's one of the coolest things I can do. Now it was time to cook all the meatballs together, and I am sad to say that I ended up burning my finger on the oil because it was spitting out, and then I borderline burned the meatballs. It was just kind of a rough moment there for a second. However, I persevered and it ended up going great. It tasted amazing. Oh.
It's good.
It's good.
It's good soup.
Okay, so we just finished up eating and my stomach is very, very full. It was delicious. What can I say? It was really good. This is a soup that I've been eating that my mom's made for a long time, so it always reminds me of home when I make it, which is really nice. And today was a super long day. Me and Cole were running around and doing stuff, so I feel like it was perfect to make soup today. But now it's time to rate my soup on my personal scale. So presentation wise, I'd give it a solid 8. You know, it's a pretty decent looking soup, but not the best looking since I did burn the meatballs as you saw earlier. So it could be better, and you know, gotta stay humble. And taste wise,
11.
Okay, Cole gives it an 11. I don't know. I'd probably give it an 8 as well. It's a solid 8. That's a good score. It's an 80%.
And 11 is a better score.
Yeah, an 11 is a better score. I'm glad you can do math. That's great. Well, now me and Cole are going to do the dishes, and I'm going to make pumpkin bread and show you guys that a little bit. Okay everyone, pumpkin bread is next. I have to say I was so beyond impressed with myself. I had never made pumpkin bread or banana bread or any kind of recipe similar to this, and I have never even tried pumpkin bread before, so this was very interesting to say the least. And looking back, I have to say that this was by far one of my favorite recipes that I ended up making over fall break. I absolutely loved it. Dude. Okay, look at this powdered sugar. It's like snow. Hey you guys, we're about to try this pumpkin bread that you saw me make a bit of earlier. It's 10 o'clock almost, so much needed. Any thoughts before you dig in?
It smells like pumpkin.
That's good. Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
It
good?
also tastes like pumpkin.
Is that good?
It's really good.
It's really good, guys.
Really
I've
fluffy.
never had pumpkin bread in my life, so.
Really fluffy. Good flavor.
Kind of crispy on the outside.
Ooh, good.
Yeah, I like it. I've never had or made pumpkin bread in my life, so I think it's pretty good. What would you rate it?
12.
For what? Presentation or flavor?
For everything. It looks good. It tastes amazing. It has great texture. It's just it's wonderful.
Well, thank you. Whatever I gave the rose apple tartlets, 9 or 10. That's what I'm giving this. It's like equal level pretty.
Like, show the inside.
Yeah, it's
Like, look at that.
moist. I don't know if it's focused, but it is. It's a moist. But it's very good. I will link all of the recipes I use this week down below. So feel free to look at those because I definitely am not giving credit to myself for making all of this. Like the recipes I've used were awesome so far. Anyways, the pumpkin bread is delicious. Next up tomorrow, I'm making apple pie. So I'll see you guys then. Surprise, surprise, before I made apple pie, I made fall pasta salad. I was trying to find more meal kind of recipes for me to make instead of just desserts because I know this video is full of them and I really, really loved this recipe. After preparing all the vegetables, I put them in the oven to roast for a bit and then I got started on boiling some bow tie pasta. I also ended up making a simple dressing for this recipe, which I was really surprised actually was super good. Then I mixed everything together and put it in the fridge to serve later. Pretty good. Not bad. I've never had butternut squash, so I should try that. Butternut squash is not butternut squash. It's sweet potato.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Butternut squash.
Butternut squash. What? It's delicious. Next up, I'll be eating or making apple pie. Okay, it's Sunday, and you know what that means? Apple pie time! I don't know how those two correlate, but it just feels right. At this point in filming this video, I ended up having some fun cutting these apples. I definitely improved since the rose apple tart situation, which is a relief. Here I mixed together all the dry ingredients and attempted to mix it up with the apples. It was a bit challenging. Then after laying my pie crust down to the best of my ability, I assembled the apples on top and got it ready to go in the oven. But before that, I attempted to do a crosshatch cool pattern on the top and added egg white as well. In the oven you go, Mr. Pie. The finished apple pie right here. It kind of got a little destroyed when trying to transport it from the pie tin thing. But what are your thoughts, Cole, on the pie?
It's so good. It's really good. You did a good job.
Thank you. I have a good bite here. I'm gonna try it. That's a solid apple pie. If I'm being completely honest, I'm more of personally a pumpkin pie kind of gal. But for an apple pie, it's really good. Thank you, Mom, for the recipe. Really appreciate it. Taste-wise, I'm gonna personally give it a 7, only because I'm more of a pumpkin pie girl. But I'm still gonna devour all this because it's really good. Presentation, I'm proud of myself. I'm gonna give it an 8. It's good. Definitely like transporting it to the plate. It's like not even recognizable anymore. But in the pie tin, it's an 8. It's an 8. I'm gonna eat this now. Yay! This recipe was inspired by Fantastic Mr. Fox.
What's that smell? Ever tasted one of Mrs. Bean's famous nutmeg ginger apple snaps?
Well, how do you do?
They are still warm.
Growing up, I always loved this movie, and I always wanted to try the nutmeg ginger apple snaps that Christopherson and Ash devoured in that scene. So I was so excited to have the opportunity to make them for myself.
Yes, these crackles are made of synthetic goose, and these giblets come from artificial squab, and even these apples look fake. But at least they've got stars on them.
Now, the apples I used to make this recipe unfortunately did not have stars, but they were absolutely wonderful, and they turned out great. Hey you guys! So I made the nutmeg ginger apple snaps from Fantastic Mr. Fox, and I'm really excited to eat them. As you saw, I forgot initially to add the flippin' nutmeg to the recipe, so I ended up making a cinnamon nutmeg sugar to put on top. I'm really excited to see how these turned out. I tried a few of the cookies already that didn't have the apple slices on them, and they tasted really good, so let's try. Yeah, they're really, really yummy. The cookie and the apple kind of fall apart a little bit there, but besides that, delicious, absolutely scrumptious. I'd say flavor-wise, I give it a solid 7. Probably not my favorite apple recipe that I've made this week, just because it does fall apart. The cookie on its own, I'd say, is an 8, but with the apple, it's probably a 7 just because it falls apart. The apple didn't really stay on quite well. Presentation, I'd have to give them a 9. Like, they look so good, they look so cute. I'm very, very proud of myself. So overall, really, really great, and I had so much fun making these cookies from one of my absolute favorite movies. I've loved Fantastic Mr. Fox ever since I was a kid. My whole family loves it, and it's just such a nostalgic movie for me and definitely gives major fall vibes. Yeah, this was probably my favorite recipe that I've made so far over fall break, only because I put on Fantastic Mr. Fox in the background and I just had such a good time recreating this recipe. I hope you guys really enjoyed watching this. I know I enjoyed making them. Now I'm going to go start editing this video, and tomorrow you guys will join me to make smoked sausage. It's dinner time on the last day of fall break, and it's smoked sausage with vegetables. I have never had smoked sausage, so this week really tested my taste buds, but I am happy to announce that I love both smoked sausage and sweet potatoes, which I tried for the first time ever making this video. I also got to use the cast iron skillet my mom lent me when I moved back to school, and that was super exciting. At this point in filming, I got too tired to review the meal, but I absolutely loved it. The taste was amazing, and the presentation was phenomenal. What do you think?
It's good.
It's good?
As always. Never fails to impress.
Sweet. I really did save the best for last for this video. These brown butter pumpkin cookies with maple were beyond my wildest dreams. I hadn't made brown butter in a long time before making this recipe, but man, it always takes my cookies to the next level. I unfortunately did not have time to film my reactions to these cookies because, in all honesty, I ended up devouring them, and then I remembered, oh no, I'm filming a video, and all of them are gone. But I think that just proves how amazing these cookies are, and you should definitely check them out. The recipe will be linked below this video. Looking back, I made so much food this past week. I am definitely burnt out for a minute, but I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and comment what other cooking videos you'd like to see next. If you haven't subscribed already, please feel free to do so to see more content coming soon in the future, and I'd love to know what other content ideas you guys all have for me. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you all stick around for the next coming weeks for more content coming really soon. Thanks again, guys, and have a great day!